What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Backstop Banter. Michael, I'm rocking the Judge jersey tonight because he robbed a nice home run tonight. So
Nice.
I had to put some respect on my boy's name. Future
I
All-Star
understand.
this season. So, how are you doing there, Michael? We literally voted him on our ballot. Calm down.
I know, but I did not want to vote him. I gave with you on that one.
As you should, because I'm right. It's okay.
No, because it's a push and shove relationship. You got to give a little and take a little.
More hammer and nail. It's not really a rivalry,
A hammer and nails? I don't know what you're talking about there. But you know what? I'm doing good. I was off today. Got a lot of stuff done around the house. I actually put together some. We've got a deck furniture that we just bought, so we got that together. Now we'll be doing. I was going to say patio, but it's not a patio. It's actually a deck. But it's like our patio. So I see you looking odd at me here. But anyways,
I was just making.
Got me a griddle, one of those Firestone griddles. I got to put together later. That's for Father's Day.
Okay.
It's quite comical how that happened, and I don't want to go in much details on it, but we're pretty raw on here. So I wanted to get like a 17-inch griddle, one that's a little bit cheaper, like $150. Well, kind of like as we kept going through the process to try to find one local that was a little bit cheaper and just wouldn't have to do any kind of shipping and handling and all that stuff and pay all that. Ended up going kind of big. I definitely wasn't a 17-inch what I ended up with. I even got the air fryer with it as well. So
let me tell you something. Air fryers, probably a top 5 invention in the history of man.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find it
out.
No,
you don't need to find out. Take my word for it. Anybody watching right now that has an air fryer, back me up here.
Okay, yeah, we're going to find out.
It's a magical experience.
If it got a little darker earlier, it's kind of been staying light out. I was later in the day, but of course we are 10 p.m. here. I was thought about going actually outside and actually doing the show and the furniture and having all this thing. Be like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, listen, Michael, because I am going on vacation, so I won't be here for the next show.
That's right. Next two, right?
Next two, that is correct. Okay. So, I don't know if you're taking off with me as well or if you're going to have some co-hosts, but,
we'll figure something out.
Maybe while I'm down there, I'll hop on, the balcony with the nice ocean sounds in the background for a quick 5 minutes, say what's going on, making sure you don't ruin my show.
That's my show, but
whatever helps you sleep at night. But what does help me sleep at night is knowing that we have a wonderful guest tonight, and that would be Senor Dalton Cornett.
And the reason we say Senor is Dalton is with us, not from Pippa-Passes, Kentucky, like he usually is.
Pippa-Passes, interesting name.
It actually, well, I'm not going to go to history. It used to be just Pippa Pass. But anyways, he is a little bit further, what I've been calling Pippa Rico, but I don't think he likes it so much. So, Dalton, welcome to the show yet again. Tell us where you're at and a little bit of what's going on here.
Thank you, everybody. I'm here in Puerto Rico, Aguada, Puerto Rico. I signed to play professional baseball here, and I've been in spring training the last few days. Yep. And
congratulations.
I actually just drafted the team tonight.
What was that
again?
I said I just got drafted to a team tonight.
Awesome. Congratulations. Now,
hold on.
It doesn't matter, but can you tell us what round?
Is this an MLB team or you get drafted to a team in Puerto Rico? I'm
Puerto Rico.
That's a stupid question.
In Puerto Rico, yeah.
Oh, okay. So
they didn't do it like the first pick, whatever. They didn't do it like that. They just basically picked your team picked you of the cities. They didn't do it like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Still, congratulations.
Listen,
that's pretty.
The only place I ever got drafted was in MLB The Show. So.
Right, hearing that you got drafted, even at anything, kind of got me gassed. Like I was like, I'm just trying to throw out that linger,
yeah. You're doing great, Michael. You don't sound 65 at all.
Oh, look at the shirt.
Oh, the shirt.
Yes. Now, Dalton, I need to know for myself, what number are you? I need to know this.
So after spring training, we'll get our numbers officially. We're not done with spring training yet.
Okay.
Well, when does this season start?
The 25th.
The 25th. Now, I'm also going to need to know a team and a place where I can look up stats so I can follow you throughout the year. I'm going to be your de facto groupie throughout the year. So I will be following the stats via online. If you do good, I'm going to message you on IG. If you do bad, I'm going to pretend like I'm your dad and harass you.
All right, that's the deal. Sounds good.
Well, what we need to do, and me and Dalton's been talking about this, we're going to try to document everything that he's going to be doing here and try to play some clips on our show.
Absolutely.
If not that, we're going to get it on at least, I don't know, the Unwrapped Sports YouTube channel or something where we can just say, hey, Dalton, the Daily Day with Dalton. Daily Day with Dalton.
Daily's Dalton. No, Daily.
Daily's Dalton. Dalton does Rico.
I have a video of every place that we had visited in Puerto Rico from our GoPro.
Yes.
I have a video of everything we've done so far.
Now, Dalton, how
Good.
far away are you from San Juan?
I'm about 3 hours from San Juan.
Okay. It's a nice little day trip. Hey, listen, I've been to San Juan on a cruise. Now that's a place. Yeah. Now that's a place. Let me tell you something.
Now, I actually did some Puerto Rico trying to figure the thing out a little bit. You can actually drive around the whole country, the whole island, I think, in 5 to 6 hours, correct? Or do you even know that?
Jesus, that's me getting to Buffalo.
Well, see, that's what I actually was trying to compare it with states, and it said like New York City made 6 of Puerto Rico's. I'm sorry, Puerto Rico, 6 times the size of Puerto Rico. So it's a small country as far as size, and you go live it up, my good friend. You have a good time.
I will. We've actually visited, I think, 6 beaches now so far already.
What a hard life you're living, let me tell you.
Hey, on his Facebook, him and his mom and his dad's been putting out some pretty cool pictures of the beach.
So your parents are there with you?
How long are they going to be there with you? Okay.
Just for the first week, yeah.
Because Coach got to get back and do some recruiting for basketball and baseball. So, my son.
Let me tell you something. If you ever need some help recruiting, I'll take a small paycheck. Just small.
He already knows. I would be first. He already knows.
Michael, you can't finesse the people like I can. Let me tell you.
Okay, if we're going to say that. Dalton, who's been talking to some MLB teams for you? Literally on the phone for you.
This guy just loves hanging that over my head, right?
Literally. I'm going to show you something.
Oh, now this.
You started it. Let's see here.
Listen, act like I won't hit up the Yankees right now. I got the jersey on.
Oh, they ain't going to do nothing.
I'll call up the Michael K show tomorrow. Say, listen, Michael, I'm going to need you to put
Lamon. You see that?
Yeah, I do.
Voicemail for me.
Oh, yeah? And who's that?
He is the senior amateur scouting coordinator for the White Sox.
And you have his number. That's great and all. And he hasn't been on the show once.
Well, I've been trying to push for Dalton first.
Listen,
gotta get in with Dalton.
I love Dalton. Big fan of Dalton. Huge fan. But I'm a bigger fan of myself.
Well, I'm going to be honest and think that Dalton could probably take me farther faster than you can.
All right. So, Michael, what you're saying is you have no faith in this show.
Ooh, play the voicemail? Okay, Josh. All right, Josh.
No. We're not going to skate by that, Dalton. He just basically said that he has no faith in this show.
No, I said you.
Well, I'm your co-host.
Oh. Hang on.
See, it's fake. You left that. You just used a voice changer and recorded yourself.
Yeah, hi, this is Doug Lamb with Chicago White Sox. I'm a senior advisor. Got a message from Secretary Nancy Nesnadol about a player in Kentucky that was seen by one of our scouts this week. Just calling back to...
Michael, this might be confidential.
You're right. I better leave it there. Hold on. My bad, people. My people.
Michael, so this is why you could never be a scout. Next thing you know, Dalton's contract is out in the open.
Oh, no. Well, actually, what's cool is he's actually from Kentucky. He lives in northern Kentucky, so we've kind of got a bond going on here. I actually called him the other day. He didn't answer then, but we texted a little bit, and then
You guys talked about cows?
He lives in, you don't know what Florence is, or Covington. It's actually at the borderline of Cincinnati there.
Didn't think he'd actually play. Josh, see, that's what I'm saying. Guess what, Josh? If we ever, get a nice caller daddy type of deal, from Spotify for all the money that they got. I know who's doing the contract negotiations, and it's going to be me. Because next thing I know, Michael's going to be out here telling everybody our contract situation, and it's going to end up getting pulled.
Josh, you didn't think it was true, did you? You thought I made this whole story up. Anyways, we've got this going on about us when we really need to be talking about Dalton. So tell us, Dalton, what's going on in your future now, and of course present? How's the lady life going down there? How's the baseball going? Let's hear it.
Lady life. I haven't really met anybody yet down here, honestly. I had my parents, so we're just hanging around, Baseball is great here. It's been really awesome. The players play with a different passion down here. It's just completely different.
I need to see this sleeve because we talked about this sleeve. Do you have it yet?
You say my sleeve?
Yes.
I do have it, but it's in my baseball bag outside. I do have it.
What sleeve? What's the sleeve we're talking about here?
Well, I told Dalton when we, because we're BFFs, calling you're on the shelf back here. But anyways, I told him when you go to Puerto Rico, you live it up. You do all the passion, the bat flips and everything. And then we got to talking to him, and he's like, of course I'm going to. I said, Dalton, I can already tell you're going to have a sleeve. It's going to be something crazy. You're going to be like all these chains going on. He's going to have some like them beads in the back of his hair by the time he gets back to U.S.
Yo, listen,
and he said,
pull
I
up with
already
the chains,
have a
baby.
sleeve.
You got to pull up with the chains. If you don't got a gold chain playing baseball in Puerto Rico, you shouldn't even be there.
I mean, it's really a thing. Like if you don't play,
I always wear it.
Go ahead, Dalton. We got a little bit of delay. Go ahead.
I always wear 3 chains every time I play. 3 chains. One has a baseball bat cross. The other one is silver, and the other one is gold that has my number 3 on it. Always.
Okay. I like that.
And the 3 is backwards too, right? When you play. Didn't he say that once? I was
yes,
thinking
he did.
See, we pay attention.
Yeah.
So listen, all because you see, here's the thing. I've said this before. You and Dalton talk every day, blah, blah, blah. But me and Dalton have that relationship where we're best friends, but we don't have to talk every day. But the minute we start talking to each other again, it's like we never left.
Right.
Am I right, Dalton?
You're right.
So
now, Dalton, I have one more question. And Michael, of course, you got yours. Is there anybody else playing in that league that we would have heard of?
That you would have heard of?
Yeah, like any big names down there? You got any Brandon Phillip types?
He's back at Lexington.
So
that I know.
Manager. We Gary Templeton as one of our managers. We have Carlos Gonzalez. He played in the World Baseball Classic. I can't remember. We have a couple more that were big MLB players that are managers. But as far as the other guys, it's basically younger minor leaguers.
Okay. Is
Yvonne playing down there too?
He is. He's on a different side of the country though.
Okay. So, but he's still in your league though, just not on the same team, or is it a different league there?
It's a bit. So they split it up for COVID, just because the COVID restrictions. So they created this league here, basically for all the cities around us here. So we don't travel that far. We travel like to 4 or 5 cities. That's about it.
Okay, so it's the same league, but it's almost like how the MLB, the Central played the Central only during the COVID stuff, right?
Right.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. Right, he says. So now here's my other question I got to ask you, because I hear you're right, and I know it sounds totally normal, and I know Connie's going to make fun of our rights as he does. How's your accent going on down there? Has that been a comical thing for you, or is it a barrier for you guys? Because I do know you know Spanish, but how's that going?
Yeah. No, I speak Spanish very fluently. I'm very fluent, so I'm good, getting around good. My parents are.
How is this just swept under the rug that you speak fluent Spanish? How did I never know this?
I don't know, because besties again.
Oh, Jesus, I might throw up.
Yeah, my parents have struggled pretty bad getting around, but as long as I'm with them.
I could see Scott out there trying to communicate right now. That would be hilarious. Yeah.
Actually,
I could see him.
the part of Puerto Rico, they do not speak very much English. It's not very Americanized at all. So pretty much everything down here is, in this part is Spanish. Not much English at all.
Nah, see.
Now, how's the food situation looking down there?
Is there a McDonald's?
There are McDonald's. There's Burger King. There's Pizza
Out of
Hut.
all things, I want to know if this man's eating A1 Spanish food, and you're talking about McDonald's.
There's always a McDonald's.
We can get McDonald's here in America.
In what, huh?
In America, you're right. Look at that. See, even Josh, come on.
I just know my man loves chicken strips, and I don't know if he's going to be able to manage down there. So, he has to have some American food.
I think the people of Puerto Rico are going to take great care of Dalton. I'm just saying. What's going on there, boss?
What's up, Perry? So, what has been the hardest thing for you to adjust to? I mean, you've not been down there very long, maybe a week at the most. But what has been the hardest thing? Like, language barrier is not going on right there. Food's fine. Like, what has been the craziest thing? Like, you've just been like, oh my goodness, that's cultural things that I wasn't prepared for.
I would say probably the driving. They drive a lot different here. Like traffic is a lot different, stuff like that. Also, the language thing is a little different because I have to speak Spanish every day. And people passes, you don't have to do that. So that's probably another thing that's a little hard because I kind of get tired of having to switch back and forth between Spanish, English, Spanish. So that's probably the biggest thing too.
Now, what is the living situation while you're there?
So while my parents are here, I'm actually staying in the Airbnb with them a couple miles from the ballpark. But they house us at the ballpark. It's actually where the national soccer team plays. So we're staying in the grandstand of that.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
You're not doing too bad down there, are you?
Do you have any fans already? Like I'm just thinking here, back in the All-Star break in NBA, and I think it was Atlanta, you actually seen these U-Hauls going down the road where, fans were getting out. You got any kind of fans like that following you around?
Not yet. Again, we're at spring training. It's early. We don't have anything like that yet.
Okay. So nobody's coming up saying, ooh, there's an American. Ooh la la. Is that Spanish?
Michael, you're killing me.
There's a couple that they can tell play baseball and kind of ask us questions and everything, but that's about it right now.
Now, Dalton, all I want to say is, too, if it just so happens that, unfortunately, one of your jerseys gets a little messed up, they replace it. And you get to keep said jersey, and it somehow finds its way over to here to me in little old New York. I wouldn't be mad. I'm just saying.
Don't you worry. I can maybe.
I can maybe.
Hey, listen, I'll take a maybe. You want to know why, Michael? Because a maybe is not a no.
It's not a no. And if he can, he will.
I know. Dalton's here for us.
Yeah.
So I have a question now. What's going on back in the U.S. for you? Is it Rico only now for a year, 2 years, or we still got the MLB in our sight? Is there still a chance being drafted? How's that going? If you can tell us anything.
Yeah, we still have the MLB draft. That's what I'm waiting on, actually. That's why I'm here playing. So that's going to be July the 10th. So I'm basically waiting that out and see what happens there.
Okay. Anything looking promising? Can you say that?
I still do not know much. I don't know much right now.
Okay.
Or I would tell you, but I do not know much.
Okay. Well, Dalton, is there anything else you want to say to us? I know you're busy living it up there. Probably got some kind of party to go to. I don't know. I don't know what they do there. Like, we need a full day of just you that we can watch on YouTube. Just a day. Dalton does Rico. I'm telling you, we need that.
Okay, actually, I can get that done here in the next couple. When we start our games, I can definitely make that happen.
Good. You really need to. My personal just advice. I feel like I'm giving you advice. You need to watch some of Trevor Bowers, what he has on YouTube, his every day that he does on YouTube, and just watch that, because I think you'd have a lot of people wanting to watch what's going on in Puerto Rico for you and how the lifestyle would be there. I think I would watch it. I'd subscribe to that channel. I think it'd be great. And then, you can fly me down there, and I can be your camera guy if you want,
Yes, I totally agree.
He didn't hear that part yet.
Hey, Michael, I'm waiting on you. Whenever you want to fly.
Michael, because
you went out there, okay.
Michael, listen, all I'm saying is I'll speak for Dalton here. I'll speak for him, and because he's not going to say it because he doesn't want to hurt your feelings. There's no way this young man wants some old father cramping his style out here there in Puerto Rico while he's trying to impress the woman hitting dingers, getting chicken fingers.
I'm a wingman, let me tell you. I got you.
Listen, I don't know. Dalton, it's okay. I'll speak for you because I know you don't want to hurt his feelings.
Dalton, we'll go ahead and let you hop off of here. We know, like I said, you're busy and it's already 10:30. It's, I think, the same time for you over there. Get rested, have fun, live it up, play hard, get you back to the States, because we want to see you for an MLB team. I personally want to see you with either the White Sox, because that's where your dad played for a couple years, or the Reds, and that's really who I'm pushing for the most. Reds, make this happen. Melissa,
here we go, Yankees. It's okay.
I know you're watching this show. Get him to the Reds.
Here we go, Yankees. All right, Dalton. Thank you for joining the show for this brief period of time.
Back on again. I will keep you updated with everything that I got. I'll have some videos for you guys coming up. I already have a video of every beach we went to, every pretty much adventure we went on. I'll keep you guys updated with everything.
All right. Sounds good to me there, boss. Dalton, like I said, thank you for joining for this short period of time. Good luck there, my friend. And make sure you keep us updated on those stats, baby.
Wear that Banter shirt around there.
Yeah, hey, that wouldn't hurt either.
Sure,
we're for the people. We are for the people, Michael.
For the people.
With that being said, we will get into the other baseball news that, of course, we have going on in the MLB world right now. And we will start off, Michael, let me say, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Not me.
Thank you.
I'm not proud of, oh my gosh, Gio, did you do it again? He did it again. Home run number 2 of the game. We love to see that. A nice little 9-4 lead for the Yankees over your Toronto Blue Jays.
Ooh.
Which, by the way, this is the sweep. So just saying, thank you. Big fan of that.
Well, that's good.
Michael, like I said, I'm proud of you, not me, because you put together a nice little Google Doc for us. We're usually.
Thank you.
Listen, are we and me and Michael the most prepared people in the world? No.
When we are.
But
we are.
Listen, Michael, we put on a great show when we're not prepared. We're just basically showing off at this point. We just want to show the people how good we are, and then eventually we'll be like, we'll get prepared, and we'll really show you what's good, when all the big executives are watching.
If we really tried at this, man, we'd be like awesome.
Yeah, it's like when you're playing video games and you lose, and you're like, I wasn't even trying, bro. Like, trust me. Like, I really wasn't.
Listen, speaking of video games and that, I had a roommate in college when we'd play Halo like crazy. He actually would try to play one-handed. Like, he would dedicate for weeks to play one-handed the controller.
Yeah,
he
got
kind of good at that. I mean, like, he was not the worst player.
Listen, there are people out there that are forced to play with one hand because, like disabilities and things like that, that just animals. Animals. Mm-hmm. There's a guy who plays Call of Duty with his mouth.
How?
He has I think he has one hand and he holds the controller. I know he uses like his chin to move.
As I'm moving my chin, I'm like,
I don't listen. I don't know. You'd have to look it up, but I know if you look it up on YouTube, it's there. Unbelievable. I mean, and they're not like he's good for sympathy or anything like that. Like he's literally dropping like 40 kills in a game.
Really, that's a conversation that would be fun to have, just for the fact that does these games, Microsoft and the PlayStations, do they have like settings where you could say one hand player?
Well, there actually are such things as like adaptive controllers.
Okay.
Where it's like I don't know what other word to use. So if you don't have an arm, you have like a nub type of thing. I'm sorry, like I said, I don't know if that's the correct word. If it's not,
prosthetic,
I apologize to anybody. No, but like not because the people would then
if you're missing a half an arm.
Yeah, right. But if you literally it's instead of like a controller, it's like a circular.
I'm sorry.
It looks like your thing right there, Michael.
Right, I got you.
It would look like that to like move around and things. So hey.
Okay.
Inventions these days. And before we get canceled, let's just move it on there, Michael.
Okay.
Listen, like I said, if we offended anybody, I'm sorry. I am. But we go to this. The NL East. Competitive is the Central better? Now, Michael, let me tell you something. I think this is pretty easy for me because I think you're overestimating the East because we all thought it was going to be so good. I think it's Central. I mean, you look at it right now. The Cubs are in first by a half a game. Then it's the Brewers.
And by Central, we did mean the NL Central.
Yes, I assumed. I assumed. That's my bad. I should have said that. But you look at the Cubs, first place. They're a half game ahead of the Brewers, 2.5 games from your Cincinnati Reds, and then they're 4 games up on the St. Louis Cardinals, who a lot of people picked to win that division. So obviously pretty close there. First through fourth is only separated 4 games maximum. So you're obviously in a good spot there. I mean, another division you can look at, of course, is the West. The Giants, the biggest surprise of the year so far, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
The
reason
place.
why I went with the Central on that is because the Central, everyone said, was the weakest division. And we all thought that from the beginning. But the reason why I put that in my little note here was because everyone was in love with the NL East. I'm included.
Yeah, I'll disagree only because I think the AL Central is the weakest, just because I think the White Sox are the only good team in that one. But go ahead.
Well, a lot of people were saying the Twins were going to be something, and just
that one is that they're 16 games out. They're 27 and 41.
But everyone, at least with us, when we had panels and stuff going on beginning of the season, or before preseason, was Mets, Phillies, Braves, and Nationals. All 4 are going to be competing. We don't know who's going to turn out where.
Wow, they called back Urshela's home run. Tragic. Sorry.
Anyways, but I was looking at this because the Reds, my team, obviously has been hot a little bit. We swept the Rockies, which is not completely amazing, but then we actually swept the Brewers, which is really amazing for us. And then I got to look a little bit deeper. We're 8-2 of our last 10 games, so we're actually 13 of 3 of our last 16 games. And so I was looking at it. The Mets are 35 and 26. Phillies in second are 33 wins. Braves 31 wins. I'm like, wait a second, we have 35 wins. So if we were in the East with our standings, we would be in first with our record. That's what I meant to say. Now, of course, who you play and all that stuff would change.
I think it's also because the Mets are missing games.
They're missing a few games. Well, even though, let's see here, they've lost 26. We've only lost 35. So there's only a 5-game difference in that, too. So we've got the same amount of wins. So they've played 5 less games than us.
Yeah.
And we've lost them all. So still, the Philadelphia is 33 and 33. So, like, we would be top or 1 or 2 in that division. And we're not in first place in our own. Cubs has surprised us right now. Brewers was 8-2 coming in against us, and then they got swept by us. So they lost 3 there. The Cardinals has fallen off of the face of the earth. I think they're 4-6 of the last 10 at least. And Pittsburgh is 0-10. So we know how they are. So I felt like the Mets would be relevant. Now, every show that we did, I always said I think they're 2 to 3 years out to being top competitors. Like, I thought they'd win the division.
Not me. I thought they were a World Series team potentially, just saying.
Yeah. So I was kind of interested, and I wanted to hear what you kind of think on that. Like, what do you think? Are the NL East, like, very competitive? That's why their records are kind of low and they're all just playing hard against each other? Or are the Central's teams better?
I think the Central is playing above of what everybody thought they were going to do, and I think the East is playing below what everybody thought they were going to do.
Right.
So I think it kind of evens out in a certain way because I don't know. It's weird. It really is weird. This has been a weird season so far. I mean, the Braves, they were just in the NLCS last season, I believe, and
sorry guys,
they're 31-35, and they just can't seem to string together wins with a team that's pretty solid. I mean, obviously you have Acuna, who's one of the best players in the league. You still have Freddie Freeman on that team, of course.
Reigning MVP.
Albies is a very good player as well. So it's not like they're lacking talent. They just can't put wins together. Their bullpen is awful. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, I was listening to the radio today. I didn't know this. They let one of their top relievers go last year, and the team he signed with only signed him for $200,000 more. Not, obviously $200 million, that'd be a big deal, or even $2 million, something like that. But $200,000 in the baseball world, that's $5.
That's 2 days of work, maybe.
No, that's not even 2 days of work, honestly. That's literally one game. And they pitch one inning a day. So just saying, makes you want to throw up a little bit, sadly. But yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. The better division is the Central right now, and it's weird because I think the East could get better, but I just don't know what can happen to make that happen. Because I mean, I don't think any of these teams are going to be buyers. If anything, I think the Nationals are going to sell at the deadline. I think the Phillies have to keep their team together. I mean, who are they going to trade? Harper? I mean, I highly doubt that.
Nobody's going to want that contract.
Yeah, exactly. And it gets even worse for the Phillies because Gene Segura and Bryce Harper exited yesterday's game, both with injuries. So it doesn't get any easier for them. But I will say this, and people love to crap on the Mets all the time, and trust me, being a Yankee fan from New York, it's a very fun thing to do because it always seems like they do the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. But if you don't think what they're doing right now is impressive, you're wrong. They're missing their second best starter, obviously, with Noah Syndergaard. They're missing Carlos Carrasco, who's probably going to slide in and be their fourth starter. Mm-hmm. And the amount of people that they have on the IL is unbelievable. They have like 10 everyday players, and it's not like it's little names. I mean, Michael Conforto, that's their starting center fielder. J.D. Davis, that's their starting third baseman. Like I said, Noah Syndergaard is their second best pitcher. Carrasco was supposed to be one of their better pitchers. Neil Walker, who I believe was like second or first, had the for batting average last season. He's not in the lineup either. They're doing this with people like Taijuan Walker, mm-hmm. who people probably didn't know coming into season unless you were a Met fan, and all of a sudden he is their saving grace. He's a starting pitcher, has like a 2 ERA. So it's very impressive what they're doing. And also what makes it impressive is Francisco Lindor, who we all gushed over the Mets getting and, him getting that big contract. He batted like 180 in April. Like, he has not been good the first 2 months of the season. Like,
his average right now is 213.
Yeah. And the sad part is he's been hitting recently. Like, this month he's been okay. Mm-hmm. So you also were doing that without most of the people in your lineup, 2 starting pitchers, and your big acquisition playing like absolute crap. So it's impressive what the Mets are doing. But right now, I mean, you have to look at the Central and say it's more competitive than the East just because the teams are simply playing better.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. DeGrom, of course, hurt. Hunter, I'm just looking at some here. McNeil, hamstring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they have exactly 10 people out right now. A couple of them
your boy knows what he's talking about.
3 of them are 60-day injury list. That's so weird to say. It's disabled list, but yes. So, but with that being said, I'm gonna pull up my Reds on Bleacher Report. Shout out Bleacher Report. Connie, hopefully you've seen the great news about Bleacher Report.
I did.
Just going to shout that out. Thank you, Mr. Bleacher, Mr. Report, for sharing my son's very first goal. And you know what? I'm going to Bleacher Report and showing you.
See, I kind of didn't understand it. What was it?
It was my son scoring a goal.
No, I know, but did they actually tweet it or what was it?
I did not see it on the Twitter, but let me pull up the article or the little thing that they did here. Just bear with me. I got to get through Steve Nash's hug. Okay. I don't know how well you can see that. Okay. User's son scores first goal. Michael Lawson, my son, becomes the youngest soccer player, to be shouted out by Bleacher Report. Then you see my tweet. That's what I tweeted. Still waiting, and I'm trying to read it. Can you read it better
waiting
than me?
on Bleacher Report to break the news on their app that my son, Michael Lawson, fourth minute.
No, 4-0.
Oh, 4-0.
4-0. Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I got you now. 4'0", 4 years old, scored his first goal in his very first game in #soccer, #proud dad, #MLS, #ESPN.
So
I love how you #ESPN but added Bleacher Report.
You know what? That's how I go. So, yeah, and they actually did that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Thank you, guys. Kudos to you. But what I was getting to, I forgot what I was going to.
Listen, Michael, before you do that, all I'm saying is if your son keeps playing this way, I might head over to mybookie.ag and use code USA100, double my first deposit, and bet him being a first-round draft pick in the soccer draft, if that's even a thing.
That's
because I hate soccer,
true.
by the way.
I mean,
I would, Michael, I'm being serious right now. I would rather watch paint dry.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I'm the same way, but actually coached 1 year of high school soccer, half a year actually. I was the assistant coach, and it's the first year of high school had it. Didn't know much about it, but as I got to – I was an assistant. I was just there for moral support. But as I got to learn the role –
I'm surprised that the first year your school had it.
I mean,
we've had everything my entire life,
like – I don't understand these schools having like lacrosse and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, we do. Let's see. Yeah, we got baseball, lacrosse, football, soccer, and then obviously the women's version of all that besides football. I actually think we have a swimming team.
We don't have swimming. We don't have wrestling either.
Oh, we have wrestling. Yeah, that's the thing. Which doesn't really make sense to me because we don't have a pool. Like we don't have a pool at our school. So like, how do we have a swimming team? I don't know, but I know we have a swimming team because I remember some girl always talked about it to one of my teachers. Volleyball.
Padres just. Oh, are you serious?
Oh, what happened, Michelle?
Tatis just broke up a no-no with a home run.
What a dinger, nonetheless. Tough.
That sucks.
It doesn't suck the Yankees winning right now and sweeping the Blue Jays.
But what I was going to say, the Reds, we actually have like 7-8 players that's been out too. So, I mean, I can't blame all or give an excuse for the Mets being so bad with their 10 players on the IL. I mean, it's a new thing. Players go on the IL all the time, really. It's the next person up. But I'm not going to completely take it away from them. What I'm really concerned with is what's going on with DeGrom. And that kind of brings us into our next point here is DeGrom king of the mound? He has 4 RBIs, I think.
No. Oh, no.
6
I believe he has 6 and 4 earned runs.
So he has knocked in more runs than he has given up as a starting pitcher. I seen a stat, and I seen it to you because you're a big Cole fan, and I had to rub it in. I think it was DeGrom could give up a home run to the next.
You did not send this to me, by the way.
Or I put it in the chat. I'm sorry, in the MLB chat. Hoping you'd read it. If he faced the next 12 batters and gave up 12 straight home runs, his ERA would have been like 2.39, which was still going to be under the next best pitcher, which is Cole. And I can't remember what the numbers were. So this dude has been phenomenal this year. His fastballs has been over 100 for so many strikes. He's got so many strikeouts. Like there's a comparison of Verlander and someone else when they won the Cy Young, what their numbers were, and DeGrom is just flat out destroying them. To me, he is king. But I want to say the last 2 starts, he's ended up having to leave because he was 3 starts.
Oh, yeah.
He's ended up having to leave early because of some irritation, a swollen shoulder, something's going on. So this makes me nervous. Do you think, A, he's king, and what do you think, B, he should be doing because of these injuries that are creeping up?
I mean, there's no doubt that he's the best pitcher in baseball. Listen, coming into the year, I think there was a conversation between him and Cole. But, Michael, he has a .54 ERA.
Right.
Like, pick any pitching season you want that you think was the best in the history of baseball. That you were like, that pitcher was domination. He couldn't do anything wrong.
No.
He's better. He is literally better than any player that you want to put up against him right now. Pedro Martinez, Doc Gooden, back when he was on the Mets as well. Nolan Ryan. Go ahead. But he's better this season, obviously. He has the lowest ERA since it's been a stat through 10 starts. I mean, is he king? That's it's a dumb question now. If you disagree with it.
Okay, here's my thing. This is why I think it's a little bit of a question. Like, he is killing everything. Like, he is king. But are these injuries hurting him where maybe he can't withstand? Because if every day he pitches, he's got to sit out for 10 to 15 games, I mean, something's going on. Like, should he back off what he's doing? Do you think he should? Go ahead.
It's funny. They were talking about this today because obviously being from New York, I listen to New York radio.
New York.
Yeah, whatever. But listening to the Michael K show today, and they're talking about it. He at one point he threw like 25 pitches straight or fastballs. Yeah, that were over 100 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. Now listen, let me tell you something. That is fantastic. That's great. But now I'll compare it to somebody I also know with Cole, where he can throw 100. In fact, I think he threw the fastest pitch by a starting pitcher, or second hardest behind Verlander in the past few years. He threw like 102 point something, whatever it is. He does that like 4 pitches a game,
right?
When he really has to, gas it up. And, he needs that out or something like that, and he's trying to just blow it past you. DeGrom is doing it 25 pitches in a row. Like, at some point, this is what happened. I don't think it
was like the first inning either. Like, I think it was kind of
third inning.
So, I mean, it's not like he came out, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm warmed up. Let's do it.
He pitched 3 innings in that game and struck out 8 batters.
8 out of the 9 batters he faced.
So like, and that's the thing too. He's different than a lot of these people. Everybody's getting into the spin rate conversation if it's down because of the spider tack and everything like that. Now, he doesn't have a high spin rate. He never has. He's not a spin rate guy. He's just better than you. So, I think his stuff is good enough that he should go the Cole route, where it's, listen, I know I can throw 100 miles an hour every pitch, but listen, do I really need to throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to the 8th hitter who's batting, 210? Do I really have to, since he's in the National League, do I really have to throw 101 to the pitcher, the ninth hitter? Like, you could probably throw 3 straight changeups and get him up or get him out.
All I know is if I throw 100 miles per hour for 25 straight pitches, I'm going to have to go to rxhemp.com and use the promo code RXHemp-USN.
There you go, Mike.
To get a discount. I think it's 15%.
Oh, 10% there.
10%.
Let's not get too generous.
To put some CBD cream on my shoulder. Yes, I'm left-handed, so I'm over here. Actually, it looks right-handed because it's flipped. Anyways, so like the dude's got to be having some big wear and tear going on. Like, it's no wonder that he has to be pulled the third inning after throwing something like that. But here's something I'm going to throw out here, and you may think this is totally crazy, but I want to know what you think on this. If the dude's going to be throwing like this constantly in his games and then have to sit out 10 games, not rotations, but 10 games because of injury or the IL, would you consider moving him to the closer role?
No. Hell no.
Not at all. Because
he's way too good for that.
I mean, obviously, look what he's doing, but at least you could pitch him more and not cause so much stress immediately.
1 inning now.
Well, I mean, as good as he's doing, you could do 2 innings and just say, okay, we're topping it here.
Yeah, but that's also like driving a Ferrari to your neighbor's house.
Well, he's basically doing this now because of the last 3 starts, he's been pulled.
Well, you see, here's my thing. As the Yankees win, this game 8-4 to sweep the Blues. Here's my thing. I think it was handled wrong by the Mets because his last start, he comes out and he had tightness in his side, I believe. And then they said, oh, no, he's going to make his next start.
Mm-hmm.
Like, listen, could he make his next start? Yeah, and he did. But he also got pulled in the third inning because now he has shoulder soreness. Because usually when you have soreness on the side, you start overcompensating. That's the thing. If you have shoulder soreness, you compensate in your elbow. That's how you end up getting Tommy John. So maybe the side soreness, he's compensating in the shoulder, whatever. Put him on the IL. Stop him from himself. And it's funny because once again they were talking about it on the K show today. Isn't it funny that
do you watch any other shows?
No,
I'm playing. I mean, you're in New York.
No, I absolutely don't. But it's funny, and they were talking about it, and I thought about it as well after they said it. In the era of load management, the one guy who is against load management is DeGrom, and he's hurt. So at this point, maybe you have to load manage him. Because even after this injury, the shoulder soreness, they're not putting him on the IL.
Right.
They're still not going to. And I still don't think that means he's going to make his next start, but that probably means he's going to throw. Like, he literally threw today.
Right.
He threw like I don't know, he was throwing from flat ground or whatever, see how he felt.
Right.
Stop. What are you doing? Like, listen, calm down. Put him on the 10-day IL. It gives him some time off, rest up, and then you could build it back up during that time, and then you're good from there on out. But
he's on my fantasy team, so this is what's stupid crazy about him. So I'm going to go back to May 9th because he's been hurt off and on since then. May 9th, he only pitched 5 innings. In 5 innings, he still had 20 fantasy points. In the 5-25, May 25th against Colorado, 5 innings again, he had 19 fantasy points. The 31st against Arizona, 6 innings, he had 29 fantasy points. On the 5th of this month, he pitched 7 innings, pretty much a full start for a starting pitcher now, even probably a little bit further, 33 fantasy points. San Diego again on the 11th, which seems a bit sooner, 6 innings, 32 fantasy points. Yesterday, he pitched 3 innings and had 17 fantasy points in 3 innings.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what happens when you strike out 8 of the 9 people you face.
But they say the MRI on his right shoulder was examined by the second doctor, who said he isn't concerned with the issue. Also, I want to say revealed there's no structure damage on Thursday, and the team had the results examined by a second doctor out of abundance of precaution. Thank you, finally. The Mets are hopeful that the right-hander won't require a trip to the injured list. He played light catch. Okay, that's what you're talking about in the outfield today. So, I mean... I said, it's good news. Fantastic news. Right.
I don't care. Save him from himself.
Yes, they're in first place. Yes, they're up there.
Michael, what sucks right now in baseball, right? What do we want to see? What do you always want to see in every sport? The best players pitching or doing whatever, right? Does it not suck that Mike Trout has been out for 2 months?
Right.
Is it not going to suck that if they don't put him on the IL, maybe he makes his next start, goes 7 innings, and then after the game he's like, yeah, my shoulder hurts again, and he has to miss the next start?
I agree 100%.
At that point, save him from himself.
But, obviously I'm not no athlete like he is, but I can totally understand coming from an athlete. I never wanted to sit out anything.
Like I said, from himself. I know he doesn't want to.
Right.
I mean, the thing is too, because I watched the post game show after he got taken out, and you can tell how annoyed he is. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw any of it, but he was like, "This is getting old." He was like, "I want to be out there. Like this is getting old that I have to come out." And he starts like, "I can't do that to the bullpen." Blah blah blah. So like he's annoyed by the situation. I don't think anybody's going to ever sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, DeGrom just isn't doing this because he doesn't want to play or whatever." Like, no, he's visibly frustrated.
But he's annoyed at what? Like,
no,
is he
I think
annoyed
he's
at
the situation.
Well, I mean, is he annoyed at himself that something's going on, that he has to say something, be taken out, or are they noticing it and be like, "Hey, listen, this is going on."
No, he took himself out. Because here's what makes this even crazier. I don't know if you also saw this quote from him. Did you see what he said after the game about the 3rd inning?
I did not.
He said every pitch in the 3rd inning bothered him. Michael, he struck out the side.
Every pitch.
Every pitch annoyed him or bothered his shoulder, and he struck out the side.
Man, I hope we do not lose this pitcher to some dumb injury and lose his career.
I mean,
because it's
I'm
greatness
not
is what
lying to
we're
you. I'm
watching
getting
right now.
chills right now talking about DeGrom.
Yeah,
People don't understand what we're watching.
like
Like
I've seen.
you talk about the appreciate greatness thing when it comes to people like LeBron or all these great players. Please see, I had the privilege of it because I'm in New York, so I can turn on this SNY, which is the network that the Mets own, and watch his game. Do yourself a favor and try to find it. I mean,
right.
he struck out 8 of the 9 people he faced, and in the third inning, every pitch he threw annoyed him or bothered his shoulder, and he struck out the side. Like he has a .56 ERA.
If you're watching this or later listen to this on podcasts or Spotify, because we'll be on all that later, because Connie took it back over. I didn't
post the last one. I can't even lie.
Whoa, wow.
Michael, you got no room to speak.
No, you on air said, I'm going to take this over and do this. And you didn't.
Listen, Michael.
You didn't.
I forgot. Okay.
Anyway, so
you forgot for about 2 months.
We may or may not be on Spotify or
we will.
Podcast.
I promise we will. I'm going to upload it right after the show's done.
If you have a chance to watch the Mets play anywhere near you and DeGrom is pitching, go watch it. You cannot say that you did not take the opportunity to watch the greatest pitcher in baseball right now. Not even right now, of all time.
All right. See, we can't say all time. Not yet. This is the greatest pitching season of all time. But greatest pitcher, I mean,
if
don't get me wrong, if he stays on this path.
10 minutes ago, you just said this is a dumb question asking if he is king.
Yeah, right now.
I mean, look what he's doing. I know, but I mean, if somebody does this for 1 year, and then what happens next year if he has a 6 ERA? He's not the greatest pitcher of all time. Well, no, it's probably because they overworked him and they didn't put him on.
Well, yeah, that's true. Just look at Matt Harvey. They ruined his
exactly.
career. He came back from Tommy John. He was supposed to have an innings limit, and then they push him and ruined his career.
Could you imagine if they had Harvey and DeGrom right now?
Well, they did. I think at one point you know what the funny part is too? DeGrom was the last one that they cared about.
Yeah.
It was Harvey. Harvey came in, and he was like the next big thing. Then, believe it or not, Zach Wheeler, who's, by the way, having a fantastic year for the Phillies, he was the next big thing for the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
Then Noah Syndergaard jumped to DeGrom as being the next big thing. And out of all of them, DeGrom slaps them in the face. DeGrom was a shortstop.
What?
Yeah, he was a shortstop in college.
Wow. I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
So
and Michael, listen, I know you love Mr. Bauer as well, but his RPMs are down like 500 since the Spider stuff came out. He got rocked by the Rangers of all teams in his last start. Now, if DeGrom comes back, pitches the rest of the season, whatever, let's just play hypotheticals here, right?
Okay.
He's going to win the Cy Young this year going away, probably unanimously, or at least he should. Now, let me ask you a question. You think because he had a great year last year too, if Bauer doesn't use the sticky stuff, doesn't pitch as well, and once again, we'll live in fantasy world that DeGrom, because if Bauer didn't win, DeGrom was going to win that Cy Young. Mm-hmm. This would have been his 4th consecutive. So, I mean, we're in rarefied air.
I mean, I'm just pulled up here. He's pitched since 2014, so he's got almost 10 years. Obviously not there yet. His ERA for his whole career is only 2.50.
His worst ERA was in 2017 at 3.53.
Yeah, like
that's not
still
even bad.
Good. So, yeah, I'm about ready to say he's king. Like, who would you say is not?
I mean,
or over him?
Nolan Ryan. You look at Nolan Ryan also had 7 no-hitters.
I mean, that's true.
So there's Nolan Ryan. Who's that? God damn, who's that pitcher that was on the Braves back in the day?
I was about to say Danny Graves, but it's not Danny. Greg Maddux.
Yes, Greg Maddux. Listen, you can look at Randy Johnson. I think people forget how good Randy Johnson was. So, listen, there's plenty of pitchers. And, Michael, don't get me wrong. I don't think you're crazy for saying it. I think it's just premature. Like if
I'll give you that.
Like if this is if he goes another 2 years, has like a 2.7 ERA max over the next 2 years, I'm good. See, here's the thing that's annoying me. In New York, people are comparing, because let me tell you, a lot of people forget Doc Gooden too when it comes to Mets history. He was unbelievable. And then his career kind of got derailed because, that was during the 1980s with the Mets, and they literally had a bowl of drugs in their locker room. So, that kind of derailed his career just a slight bit. He actually missed the parade because he was at his junkie's house. Anyway.
What happened to the Mets player that was got caught this year?
I don't know. I think he's in prison.
I would say so because
I would imagine. I believe it was 60 pounds of cocaine.
Probably so. I think so. Like I remember a 200 on something, but yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was up there. But Tom Seaver, a lot of people are bringing up his name as well. I think DeGrom is the best pitcher in Mets history, and some people aren't ready to go there yet, and I think it's stupid. Like Tom Seaver, unbelievable pitcher, but he spent time on the Mets, but he also went other places. Obviously, DeGrom has played his entire career for them, and it looks like he'll finish his career out there. So I would go best pitcher in Mets history easily.
I think Seaver, didn't he play for the Reds too?
That's a great question.
Yeah, he did 77 to 82.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said,
Tom
Seaver's no slouch or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at 311 wins. He had a career 2.86 ERA.
Oh, wow.
A 3-time Cy Young winner. I mean, don't get me wrong, he played for the Mets a long time.
Right.
Like, he played for the Mets from 67 to 76, then went to Toronto, came back to the Mets for a little bit in 77, then went to the Reds, stayed there until 82, played for the Mets in 83, then went to the White Sox, 84, 85, back to the Blue Jays in 86, and then finished his career out in 86 went to the White Sox and then Boston. So he played for 20 years.
Right. Oh, 20 years. Wow.
I mean, 1969, he went 25-7 with a 2.21 ERA. In 1971, he was 20-10 with a 1.76. And you know what the craziest thing is? DeGrom is never going to reach those win numbers because wins don't mean anything in the pitcher world anymore in the analytics.
Any place for
I just said that his ERA in that 1 year is a 1.76. That's literally more than half of what DeGrom's is right now. So, like I said, take a pitching season that you thought was great and flush it down the toilet.
Pretty much with what he's doing. But, we're coming up over 20 minutes on this conversation, so I think we need to move on. But I just want to ask you one little small thing. Do you think that it's so amazing, obviously, compared to most seasons that we've seen of anyone else that we just mentioned, it's even by far baffling that he can do this. But do you think it's more in awe of this? It's because of the home run or strikeout? Like, does this have anything to do with it? Like, there's more runs being scored, and we're seeing a guy who doesn't give up any runs. Is it like oh my goodness, or is it kind of watered down because people are swinging for the fences and striking out?
I mean, can you say it's watered down from what maybe happened back in the day where everybody put, the ball into play and there was contact, everybody was batting, over 300?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but let me tell you something else as well. All these pitchers are pitching to these same exact people and aren't doing what DeGrom's doing. So you can water it down. You can put an asterisk next to it any way you want. I think you're wrong about the situation. If you want to water it down, have fun talking to yourself, because you're not talking to me about the situation. Because this, I'm sorry. You watch him play, and it's embarrassing to be a hitter right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they look like they're in the minors.
You're basically looking like every player is looking like they play for the Arizona Diamondbacks as they face DeGrom.
Any team on the road.
Speaking of the Diamondbacks, they have lost a record 23 road losses consecutively. 23. What do you have on that? Do you have anything you want to talk about? I just feel like it's something that definitely needs mention. Like,
what's funny?
Go ahead,
Michael. I'll bring it up again. The K show, baby. I got a lot of faction there. Michael K said it today. It's the curse of the no hitter. Because did you know they have not won a road game since Madison Bumgarner's no-hitter technically didn't count as a no-hitter because he was 7 innings on the road. They haven't won a road game since then. And the Orioles, another thing to watch out here, they've lost 19 games in a row on the road. And when their last road win was?
Was it Means?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
John Means was the last road win they had. Obviously, that's when he threw his no-hitter. So it's currently the curse of the no-hitter. But, I mean, listen, 23 road games in a row you lose. And, I mean, the other day they were beating the Giants. And the Giants came back with a Mike Yastrzemski grand slam. So it's a hard time to be a Diamondback fan at the moment.
I apologize for you guys, and I want to show sympathy for you Diamondback fans, but I'm a Reds fan, so I understand, but we're not that bad. So
nobody's that bad, literally.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in today's time, I don't see how you don't accidentally win a game.
No, I don't either.
Because you swing it for the fences. Like, you can score runs at will. Like, I mean, even in the game today, it was 3-10. The Giants scored 10 runs on them. I'm looking here. Indians got 10 runs today. What? Yankees 8. Astros 10 today. I mean, there's nothing but runs being scored. Come on, guys.
Did you see Buster Olney's tweet he sent out a couple of days ago about the MLB offensive stats?
I did not.
And, I'll tie it into this situation because Cole talked about it the other day with, the sticky stuff going on in the MLB. Uh-huh. Tyler Glasnow flat out came out and said, like, yeah, I've used it. Here's the line that I found funny in it because it's true and nobody will admit it.
Are we moving to sticky?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said, guess what? Your favorite pitcher uses it too. So, I mean, he called out everybody in MLB, and I don't even think it's calling him out because it's true. We as fans know it. And first of all, like I said, I don't think rosin and sunscreen is a big deal. People have been using that since the dawn of time in baseball.
Well, I mean, even if
the spider tack that's messing everything up.
Right. Like, even with the sunscreen, and I don't know why sunscreen's even a thing. Like, I mean, I'm going to sound kind of, well, I'm not going to go political on that. But, like, sunscreen is to protect your skin. Like, you can't.
No. But they mixed it with the rosin.
Right. But, I mean, you've got to have sunscreen on you when you stand out into a field for 3 innings. Like, how are you going to prevent the accidentals on that? That's what I'm getting at. Like, people are going to wear sunscreen. So, I mean, obviously you can just rub your arm and you got it on there, even if you're not meaning to do that. And I'm sure it's going to be a little bit over-exaggerated some. But that's why I loved Trevor Bauer's talk on his show that he just did on YouTube. Shout out Trevor Bauer, your YouTube show. But he's talking like, I can actually mix rosin with my sweat. And he says, and it will actually be sticky. And what's crazy, to your touch, it doesn't feel sticky. But when it has the leather on the ball that you rub it in with, it becomes sticky with the friction, and I can have more control. So I can do that. And he said, of course, the sunscreen, he said, I have to protect my skin because, skin cancer is a real thing. And I went on to that. So, I mean, I understand that, but I don't want to be like, completely committed to protecting your skin from skin cancer. But to me, you have to just make something. Like, it doesn't have to be the spider stick or tack, whatever it's called, or so many other things. Just go ahead and give us something. Like, don't just do rosin. I mean, the guys are making something already. Like, they said they had trainers and all this stuff make a batch for them. And Trevor Bauer went on to talk about how they mix the mud on them to try to give them some kind of surface where they can grip as well. He said, just get away from that, and whatever the sticky stuff that you use, push these things through it. So all the balls have the sticky stuff and we don't have to do it.
You know what is interesting? Because American
Backstop Banter. Very interesting.
American baseballs are slick. And
yes,
in Japan, they use baseballs, but they're naturally made stickier. So they don't have to use something. Every single baseball has the stuff on it.
Right, and that's kind of what Trevor Bauer was saying. He said, you could, and what he made some really good points that I would not even thought about. Like, he was saying, okay, if I have this umpire today who thinks sunscreen should not be allowed, instantly I'm out for 10 games. But then I go pitch at another place where a guy who doesn't even care what's going on, I could have spider tack on me because it's up to them. It's a umpire's decision. He doesn't care. Well, someone's going to have an advantage.
Yeah, but I think the coaches are going to start calling players out now. Because like I said, it used to just be
It's unwritten.
This is what it used to be. It used to be, I'll just look away.
Blind eye, right.
A blind eye. Like, oh, wait, I'm looking over here. You accidentally used it. Oh, darn it, I didn't see. Mm-hmm. Unless they made it, incredibly obvious, like when Pineda had it on his neck a few years ago when he was pitching for the Yankees. I mean, it was literally glistening. So, like, at that point, you, as a manager, you have to say something. The Red Sox manager came out and said, I think he has something. He ends up getting suspended. But everything else was, blind eye. I think now they're going to be like, oh, because the hitters are getting mad now. I don't think this would have been a thing if
the hitters really buy into that.
Oh, no, they are. Listen to Josh Donaldson. And here's the other thing, too, Michael. That was the stat I was going to get into before. Since the thing came down that the MLB is going to start checking, batting average, slugging percentage, OPS have all gone up, and batting average went up 10 points around the MLB. It went from like 253 to 263. And I mean, that's not and you see, if that's a player, that's a good week. Mm-hmm. That's the entire league.
That's a lot of batting,
that's a lot of at bats. And for it to go up 10 points, that's, like I said, that's not a small thing. If it was 1 point, we would have been like, really? Maybe it wasn't doing anything. But 10 points for the entire league average, that you gotta look at that. I mean, that's clearly a disadvantage for the hitters then.
If I was a pitcher, I would have had like a pitcher's meeting on Zoom or something and be like, listen, every pitcher, you need to lose control of your pitches just a little bit. We needed to have hit batters
skyrocket
go up. So they say, hey, we lost control. We need something to help control this. And then you say, the reason we're losing control is because we went through all spring training, all off-season.
60 games.
Practicing 60 games using this stuff that we knew.
You know what, Michael? You know what's even worse? They didn't just go through the season, spring training, all that. I've heard from plenty of people in the baseball world that managers give this to them in single A.
In single A, wow.
Like they start this in the minors and just continue it on up until the majors because it's an incentive for the coach as well. The more people you send through your minor league system, look, this coach is doing really well. Maybe we should move him up the system as well. So this isn't an MLB thing. This isn't just a professional thing. This is a league from the top to the bottom type of thing.
Right.
So
I mean, minor league's still professional.
Well, yeah.
Shout out to you, minor leaguers.
Facts, you want to come on the show? I'm just saying.
Yes.
But yeah, so I mean, they're being taught how to use it forever.
I think this sticky situation of a whole storyline is way bigger than anyone really knows.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think some batters like it because they have more control of the ball. The pitchers do.
I have a story for that as well.
Because I did hear, and I can't remember who it was, but there was a batter that was saying, I want them to
Pete
have
Alonso.
this stuff.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It was Pete
Alonso.
Alonso of the Mets. He said,
the Michael K. show.
No. Actually, Met players are not allowed on the Michael K. show, believe it or not. Because it's
on
the Yes. It's because it's on the Yes Network.
Oh, okay.
And one time they interviewed the GM of the Mets, and they thought they were too harsh, so they won't let him back. They won't let any Met person on the Michael K. show anymore. Stupid as hell. Anyway. But yeah, Pete Alonso was like, I want them to use it because I don't want to get hit in the head. And then you have Josh Donaldson coming out and saying, they shouldn't be using this as a disadvantage. And Michael, you want to know who the happiest people are right now?
Garrett Cole.
No, the owners of every baseball team. And you want to know why? Because this year they have to negotiate a CBA. And they're driving a beautiful wedge right in between the players. And they're doing it right at the perfect time. Because now they're going to be at each other's necks and trying to negotiate a CBA, and everybody in baseball already assumes that there's going to be a work stoppage next year because of the CBA. Because let me tell you something: the MLBPA and the MLB hate each other. Like you think the NFL is bad and the NBA, like the MLB hate each other, like. Because they want there to be a salary cap and things like that, and the players won't allow it because they think that the owners are lying. No, but the thing is because the owners are lying about how much money they're making because like they don't technically have to show the money they've made, and they think they're going to fudge the numbers. So if you think I honestly think that we're not starting the season next year until we're starting the season late next year. That's all I'm saying. So
I mean, because you know that this sticky stuff is going to be a major topic even on that. And what I thought was cool on Bauer's show, and I go again, I sound like you with the Michael Cahill show. But
listen, you know what, Michael? We like things.
We do. But Trevor Bauer even went on to say the reason what's so crazy about this is since it was already a rule not to use any kind of foreign substance, and now that they changed to enforce it, since there was a rule, they can't do anything about it. The CBA, they can't say anything about it. Any of the players can't say like protest it or anything because it was already a rule. And he said, now if this was something that they changed mid-season, we could say you're going to cause us to get hurt. We're not doing this. But since it was a rule and they're just enforcing the rule, their hands are tied. And I think that is crazy.
I mean, Glasnow came out and said, I got hurt because of this rule change. He said, I woke up the next day after pitching and was sore in places I didn't know I had muscles because he had to change things. I was watching Cole pitch yesterday. Had a great outing. He went 8 innings. I think he only gave up 2 runs. But in the post-game show, he was like, yeah, it's annoying. He's like, he was like, I had to shove the baseball, further into my hand to, get the reaction that I want, this, that. So, like, the pitchers they're pissed.
Well, yeah, even Bauer was talking about, like, when I hold a ball, I do. I'm not about to use that ball. Hold up. This is one I got autographed by a bunch of Reds players.
No, so it's valueless.
That's why it was in the floor. Anyways, so he was saying when I hold a ball like this and I'm trying to throw any type of spin, he said when you hold it without nothing, your forearm muscles, even to your elbow and your hands, are gripping it so tight to get the action. He said when I'm sticky, I can be loose and still hold it, and I don't have to tighten anything until I'm already throwing it. He said so. Basically, all these muscles are going to be working triple overtime, basically, because you don't have to put so much strain on all your muscles until I want to say he said he flexed it out. But now he's keeping it that whole time as he comes through. So very interesting. They go from I think I need Tommy John.
Listen, I love offense in baseball, but even I think I'm kind of on the pitcher side in this where why would you do it 60 games into the season? Mm-hmm. Like, at least give them an off season to adjust to it. Hell, give them the All-Star break, I guess. Give them No, listen, because then you give them warning till the All-Star break. You don't actually start enforcing it until after the All-Star break. So you have all the time till the All-Star break, then the All-Star break, and then coming after it, you're like, okay, we're actually going to start looking. So at least you're giving them a couple months. They gave them 2 weeks. That's one start.
Yeah.
Like
in some cases too, but yeah, mostly one start.
It's weird. It's a weird situation.
I really think they should have just said, okay, hey, listen, we see this a problem. We're going to enforce it, but then have their own little whatever meeting and say, hey, we're going to be lax on this, but by the end of the year, we're going to really buckle this down and go on, because I think pitchers are going to get hurt left and right now. I really do.
Oh yeah, I do as well. But yeah, I think
sorry batters if you all start getting like beamed like crazy. It's not
you know what
fault.
and what one more thing on this topic, because I was watching Cole again, and they're talking. You can only the rosin is only effective when you sweat. So yesterday they play in Buffalo. It was a cool night out. So you're putting rosin on your hand. It doesn't do anything. It's just like putting dust on your hand. So, yeah.
That's actually worse.
Here's the thing. Let the Yankees, let the White Sox make the World Series. It's going to be 45 degrees in October playing baseball, and they're not allowed to use any sticky substances or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I cannot wait to see some of those pitches. Even in Colorado, where the high altitude, really?
Altitude. Now you're sounding like me.
Yeah, I know. Altitude. You don't really sweat up there either. So it's a weird situation. It's a weird situation. Michael, we got a few topics, but we're also an hour 15 into the show. Now, is there any? Now I got one that I really want to talk about. I don't know if you have any that you thought you wanted to skip. We can save until next episode. Is there one that's how about this, Michael? Let's pick one that you really like. I'll pick one that I really like, and then the next one we'll save for the next show.
Okay. I would really like to talk about the Padres.
Okay, you go ahead.
Just throwing this out here, I have a question, and I want you to answer it.
Okay.
Of course, they're winning right now. It's top of the ninth. They're up 2-0 on the Reds, and Votto's on first. There's one out. Suarez just struck out. But anyways, the Padres, the sexiest team of 2019 and 20, come into this season. We expect them to make the playoffs, maybe even push the Dodgers for that 1 seed in their division. This year, their record, I wish I could pull that up real quick.
They're 6.5 back, I believe.
6.5 back, but I want to say they're still over 500.
Oh, yeah, they are, yeah. They are currently
38 and 39 right now.
Yeah.
So they're 3 games.
38 and 32.
Did I say 39? I sure did.
You said 38 and 39.
Yeah, 38 and 32. So they're 3 games above the Reds. Just throwing that out there. Let me check that out. Just got swept by the Rockies, and they are 2 of the last 8. So in the last 10 games, they've won 2. They're on a 3-game losing streak, and of course, they're ahead of the Reds right now. Are the Padres a one and done, or are they in a slump?
You know, I would like to think more slump. I think they're too talented to be a bad team. Now, people are saying that about, the Yankees as well, because you look on paper and some of these teams should be better. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Dodgers are 41 and 27, but why aren't they in first place? Because the Giants are in first place. Like, it's been a weird season. I think everybody's agreed on that. And how many times have we said this on the show that it's just been an odd season? Mm-hmm. But I think that they're going to end up getting better. I mean, Tatis missed some time with that shoulder problem that he had.
Listen, he didn't miss very long, though. But no. He missed.
But he still missed some games. That's a huge part of their offense, obviously. Blake Snell has not been the pitcher that they traded for. I don't know what the problem is, but he definitely has not been the same. Darvish has been pretty good. It's just I think they're finding their footing. Maybe after the All-Star break, go on a little bit of a run there. But
really, their offense has not been doing much. Like Machado, you don't even hear anything on him.
Oh no.
Which I don't think he's doing bad. It's just everyone's all about Tatis. But their average is 232. They're 21st in the average, 12th in runs, 13th in hitting, 19th in home runs. This is the Slam Diegos. They're 19th in home runs with only 73. I'm referring to the Reds. We've got 91 home runs. We're in 7th place. So puts a little perspective there. The OBP, I bet I said OBI for some reason, is 13th, and their slug percentage is 25th percent, or 25th%, 25th in the league. So their offense, and we're 7th. Well, how about that? So their offense has really struggled, and I mean, I don't recall too many injuries going on. So I guess I kind of just want to be that guy that maybe calling them out and say they're the one-hit wonders on this. Granted, I could be wrong, and I might be shooting the gun a little early on them, but they're 2 of 8 of their last 10 games. And they got swept by the Rockies. Like, could they possibly break this season up?
No.
No. I don't think so.
How do they break it up, though? Tatis, they just signed. Machado's there for another 6 years, I think. They just traded for Snell. I think he's signed for very little for the next few years. I don't know what Darvish's contract looks like, so I can't really speak on that. If anything, listen, they might be better next year because a lot of people are forgetting Mike Clevenger should be on this team right now. Mm-hmm. And, obviously he's hurt. I think, what did he have? Tommy John? Is that what it was?
I think so.
So he'll be back next year. I don't know. I can't call one-hit wonders. I think they'll end up coming out of this. They're too talented. Like
they are.
And listen, we could be wrong.
And it's still early.
Wrong. Yeah, listen, I could be wrong. You could be right on this situation, anything like that. But
I don't think I am. I'm throwing it out there. I don't think I am.
That's the thing. If I'm going to bet, I would like to bet with talent instead of against it.
Right.
Listen, I'm sorry. The Giants are great right now. I'm still betting against them because I don't think that they have the talent to keep this up. I look at the talent that a team has and determine based off that. Now, sometimes talent doesn't work out. We've seen that before.
They've won the last 4 games. They're 7-3 the last.
Listen,
game.
I know. But
I wish I could see playoff standings, as far as record, the wild cards and everything.
I thought you could.
I thought I could too, but I don't see it.
Hold on. Hold on, Michael.
I'm on Bleacher Report. That's
I'm on ESPN. Don't worry.
Okay. Because,
the
Padres
wild card, currently, the Padres are 1 game out of the wild card spot behind the Brewers. Your Reds are 2 games out.
Right. So, and
the Dodgers obviously have the first wild card spot.
Right. Okay. But if the Padres don't make the playoffs, I think this season is a huge bust for them.
Oh yeah. Oh no, absolutely. They have to sneak into the playoffs somehow. Listen, we kind of thought that they would end up being a wild card anyway, and that's fine with me. But you have to make the playoffs. If you don't make the playoffs, it's a failure.
Yes, a bad failure. But yeah, just throwing that out there. So yeah, that's that topic, and I forgot to write down the time. Which one of the other two you want to talk about?
I wanted to. We skipped right over this when we started talking about the sticky stuff. But when and who will be the first team to blow it up? And I think that this could be a very interesting question because there's some teams that hey, they could do it. I think the first team, believe it or not, that's going to blow it up though are the Twins, and I think they'll do it because I believe they moved the trade deadline further back, so it's after the All-Star break now, and everything like that. So, but I think the Twins are going to end up being it. They're 27-41. They're 15.5 games out of first place. They're in dead last behind Detroit, who a lot of people thought were going to be an awful team, and they are, but they're even behind them by 2 games. So I think the Twins are going to end up blowing it up. They still have some nice pieces on that team. You could look at Nelson Cruz. Obviously, he has to go to a American League team because he's a DH. Mm-hmm. But you look at him. You start looking at some of their pitchers. Do they try to move on from Pineda and does J Happ get moved again? But some of those players. So I think that the Twins are going to end up being the team that sells first. Michael, you got any thoughts on the team?
I hadn't really actually thought, even though it's my own notes. I want to say the Pirates because they've got a couple young players that look decent, but they just are sucking right now. They're 23-44. But looking through the list, and of course the Diamondbacks, we know what they have been doing here lately. And the Rockies, I feel like Story is probably the biggest person that's going to be mentioned so much. But I have a feeling the Rockies are going to screw this up.
I just want to know if they're going to trade him. Because
they have to trade him.
I know, but going into the year, they traded Arenado because they wanted to sign Story long term because they're one of the teams. We don't have enough money for both. Listen, yes, you do. But I don't know. Are they actually going? Do they pull the trigger? I agree with you. I think if they don't, it's a huge mistake.
If they don't trade him, they're going to look like the biggest joking team in the MLB because you're not going to re-sign him.
Unless you get some.
Okay, stop before you even say anything.
No,
hang on.
Okay.
If I offered you everything you asked for, everything, could you come back to play for the Colorado Rockies in the situation that organization is in right now?
Listen, Michael, you're talking
28-41.
You're talking to the wrong guy here because I love me some money. So if you offer me enough, hell yeah, I'm coming back. What if he gets the biggest? What if they offer him the biggest contract in for a shortstop in MLB history?
Is he even worth anything like that though?
He's universally thought of as a top 5 shortstop.
Okay, top 5.
Okay, but Michael, we know this. No, but we know this before.
He's going to be overpaid.
Exactly. It's when. Hey, listen, you did it to me there, guy.
I know. That's why I thought it was hilarious.
It's more about when you become a free agent than listen, Michael. When we get big and famous one day, if all of a sudden we're negotiating a contract at the same time Mr. Joe Rogan is negotiating a contract, I'm sorry to say we're not getting the same money. But if we come out, as a free agent for the next season, and Joe Rogan's already signed, and we're the hot team. Listen, maybe we get a little more ching. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So, okay, let me just ask you this then. And I do have a team that I think may have some players that might be interesting to some other teams. Is if your Story, do you look for a short-term deal with a lot of money, or do you looking for a decade deal?
Oh no, I want my unless. Oh, see, that's hard again because if you're offering me 10 years, but I'm the highest paid in MLB history at the time.
If you're a Pujols deal.
Yeah, obviously it'll get surpassed because it gets surpassed every offseason. But at the moment, if you offer me that, I would take it. But listen, if some team wants to come out and say, hey, listen, we'll sign you, 3 years, but we'll give you, let's see, what did Lindor get? Like 35 million a year?
Something like that. I want to say
If they come out and say they give him 3 years and they'll say, oh yeah, we'll give you 32 million a year. I think I would take that because then I become a free agent in another 3 years and I get another contract where I probably get, maybe a 7-year instead of a 10-year because I got another 3 seasons in, and they give me a 7-year contract and I become the highest paid player again.
But here's my thought. If Story doesn't take any deal, because, they're going to have to extend him before the season ends or they're losing him. We know that.
Probably.
If they're offering me something like that for 3 years, $30 million, I know that if I just wait till the off season, I'm going to be paid a decade and get over $100 million.
Oh yeah, well, you'll get over 300 million.
Well, I mean, it's true. Golly, that's so hard to say.
Because Lindor got what? I think Lindor got 10 years for like
320.
Yeah, like 325.
But then you can actually control your fate a little. Like
I agree with you.
You want rings. You want money, but you also want rings.
See, Michael, that's the tricky thing too. You sign with a team like the Rockies, you might be able to get the best of both worlds because this is going to happen. You know it will. They sign him to this 10-year contract. Mm-hmm. They're terrible. 4 years into the contract, they're like, we still suck. We're paying this guy all this money. We have to reset our franchise. Let's trade him away. They trade him to a team that is up and coming, and they're one piece away from a championship. So now he got his money, and he can win the ring. Because, listen, how many times has that happened? We saw it with Machado. The Orioles weren't going to keep him, so they trade him to the Dodgers, and then he gets signed by the Padres. Look at there you go, perfect one. Stanton stuck on the Marlins, but got a huge contract, and then ends up getting traded to the Yankees. And the other team that he was thinking about getting traded to was the Dodgers. So you can get the best of both worlds because one of these small market teams are going to sign you, and then 5 years later be like, oh my gosh, we made a mistake.
Mm-hmm. I'll agree with you there, but I personally would rather say, I'm sorry, Colorado, I will not sign back with you. You can either trade me now or I'm going to be signing with someone later because you know that those two teams that you already mentioned are going to be talking to him during the offseason.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe. The Dodgers probably will. I don't think the Yankees will. Because I don't know what they would do. Actually, no, because if you trade Luke Voit, then you could put DJ at first. You put Glaber back at second. Then you get Trevor Story at short. Hey, listen. I would not be mad. But, yeah. You got any other teams, Michael? Are we wrapping this one up?
We are an hour and 30 minutes. I think we could talk about Ohtani or Vlad next week.
Yeah. We'll be all right. We will survive. Yes. All right. So with that being said, thank you everybody for watching. Make sure, listen, we don't do the sponsors all at one time anymore because, it slows down the flow of the show. But
I like doing it this way.
I do as well. I usually don't do it at the beginning, but I like to do them at the end real quick and not go into my whole spiel, though. So like we said before, mybookie.ag, USM 100, doubles your first deposit. If you want to bet, go do it there. Something we didn't mention, the Patreon, patreon.com/sports, $1 a month. You're supporting the team, $5 a month. You get access to our Discord chat, which has been hot, giving out some HG. You've been lurking. Thank you, my sir, for the view.
Thank you.
If anything, listen, you hop in those comments, HG. Don't you worry.
If you don't care, hop on our YouTube channel and like that for us. And go ahead and subscribe as well.
Yeah, Unwrap Sports, just saying. The Patreon, access to the Discord, 10 Amazon gift card giveaway, and 10% off the store. The $10 a month thing is the exact same thing, except the 10% discount goes to $20, and you get entered into our signed memorabilia giveaway each month. And then, like Michael just showed, the store, teespring.com/stores/unwrapped. Check it out. We funnel all of our merch through there, so make sure you go and check that out as well. But Michael, did you lose it?
Lost that one, but I got this one.
Okay, still. I was going to say, Michael, go ahead. Tell the people what you have before we go.
All right. As you can tell, follow me on Twitter, MDLawson00. It's also my Instagram. And I've been trying to ramp up my TikTok a little bit.
I saw that.
I'm taking clips from the show. I've been trying to do our minutes that we've been doing on our topics and putting them onto TikTok. I'm going to see how I develop that. And if I can get okay with it, then I'm going to try to start doing it with like a Backstop Banter TikTok, or we actually have a USN baseball TikTok that we just kind of have flunked at, just to be honest. So go follow me on TikTok as well. Also do a live show with Amber on Saturday. It's Count the Bucket. It's around 10 p.m. Eastern time again. It's just kind of how it has to be for me. I apologize. I'd rather just be at like 7, 8, or 9 o'clock, but I work retail hours sometimes. But anyways, hopefully we can work that out at some time soon where we can be a little bit earlier. But follow all those shows that we just said. Go to YouTube, like I said. Go to Unwrapped Sports Network. All of our shows from everybody that we have with Unwrapped funnels through that channel. So go like that, subscribe, turn on that notification, all that whole 9 yards. Give us some comments on here. Let us know what you do like, what you don't. And just be relevant with us. And go Reds.
I don't know about that part, but as for me, Anthony Conover _ on Twitter, Gen Z Sports for the pod.
Sorry, 4-2. The Reds are up now, bottom or top of the ninth.
Okay. Gen Z Sports, me and Josh do that every Monday, 7 Eastern. Talk a little bit about everything UFC, football, basketball. I save my baseball for here because Josh is, isn't the biggest baseball guy. So,
hey, we need another Josh moment.
Yeah, we do need another Josh episode. I'll make sure that happens. Tuesday is the hard count with me and CJ. We will be taking a little bit of a break for that while I am on vacation. Give CJ a nice little vacation as well, especially with the NBA playoffs going on. He has his pod, the Guard Up podcast, so make sure you go check that out as well. But yeah, that's Tuesdays. That is at 9 Eastern. Me and CJ talk about everything in the football world. Me and Michael obviously do this Thursday, 10 Eastern. I won't be here the next couple weeks, so Michael will obviously be
So the 24th, over. You won't be here?
No.
Okay, I
will be driving to Myrtle Beach.
Okay. I've got a calendar right here. I'm trying to keep up with that.
So I won't be here, but I leave my hands. Oh, Perry's going to be on next week. Wait, are you
serious? Oh, yeah. Look at that. You're so upset now.
No.
You are so upset. Thank you, Perry.
No. Wait, is next week the show with Perry's friend?
I guess so, yes.
See, now I'm annoyed.
Thank you, Perry. That's going to be so much.
He said maybe.
Whoa.
Maybe.
Whoa, Perry. You just got me up to here and then pushed me to here and then dropped me down to here. And as I said that, I just reminded myself of the turtles from Finding Nemo.
He said, now that Connie's all upset. Hey, listen. I trust Michael, but I would have just liked to be there,
Just to let you guys aware what we're talking about, Perry is the godfather of Unwrapped Sports Network. He does have a connection with a fellow friend that is currently signed with the Reds. We're hoping to get him on. We've got a confirmation that he don't care to join. We're just trying to set up where both maybe not Connie, Perry and our friend can come on at the same time where we can have them on there. Connie, you might just have to miss. You know what? You might just – that's what I was going to say. You might just have to pull a Matt and just pop in the show at any time. And be like, hey.
Maybe while I'm driving. Well, we're leaving at but see, we're leaving at 12. We're not going to get down there until midnight because we're leaving at noon. It takes 12 hours. So, maybe while I'm in the car, maybe that last hour of the car ride.
Perry, he's going to be gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'll be gone for 2 weeks. So, Oh, he said, but he'll fill in.
Okay. Whoa. You have to. First, we'll have to discuss this and make sure it's okay.
Yeah, okay.
And it's just confirmed, Perry, you can join.
Oh, now this. But yeah, so make sure you check that out. Anthony _ Conover on Twitch. I put all the pods on there as well. But thank you, everybody, for joining the show, Michael.
Is the pod going to be on there?
Oh, yeah. Make sure you check out the Backstop Banter pod. Available everywhere, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your pods, because I will be uploading this right after this. I will promise you. So, goodbye, everybody, as we have one person pop in.
You're a little late, but go to YouTube. Listen, go to YouTube. You can watch it on Unwrapped Sports Network. If
you're on the Twitch, baby, you can rewatch the whole episode because we're out of here. But you know what? I thank you for stopping by. Make sure you drop a follow, my guy. Do